Hello. So today is Thursday, 4th of August 2022, and it's 11 p.m. right now, 11:10 p.m. as of recording this. So let's look at what happened today in the today's key markets that we follow and what thesis we can draw for tomorrow. All right. So starting with the US dollar. So the US dollar, this is where we sort of closed yesterday, and yeah, somewhere here. Okay, and the price was about to touch this 200 from the lower side. Today in the morning it gave a sharp break. Okay, went up further and then met with a lot of offers. Somewhere in the afternoon the price went back down, and now as of recording we are heading back towards the 200. Okay, so this 200 I think is going to be an important zone, because it's not a whole lot of time that this 200 has been breached, okay, successfully. And this particular breach was also countered. So all these bears, as we saw noticed yesterday, they essentially got trapped. This 200 moving average green line on the 4-hour chart on USD INR pair is going to be an important zone. And with this convergence of 50 and 200, okay, there one possibility is that price again takes rest and then starts to go back up. The other possibility is the opposite of it, okay, which is the price breaks down, gives a little bit of rest, and then falls. Okay, if this second possibility happens, then we can potentially see some kind of big fall in the USD INR price in the coming days. So let me, because again the reason is this 200 has not been breached very successfully for all this while. So this is where we are. Okay, on the daily chart we are exactly at the 50 moving average. Okay, so now again, as we said, if the price breaches this 50 zone, which will be kind of similar to the price breaching this 200 on the 4-hour, then we can possibly see a big fall in the USD INR pair. Okay, again, not to speculate on anything, but it's definitely a possibility. All right, so there are a lot of things on the bearish side. Then a lot of games can be played, a lot of things can happen. Okay, the first one of course will be this zone would be an important zone. Okay, if we simply extend this particular support, so then this circle is going to be important. Okay, then we can look at further levels. All right, but this is going to be a critical zone for the USD INR pair. Let's also quickly take a look at the futures if we see anything there. So on the hourly chart, this is the price action that happened today, 9 o'clock all the way till 2 p.m. And then afterwards from 2 to 3 p.m. it fell sharply from 2 to 4 p.m. and then closed sideways for the day. Okay, and on the 15-minute, this was the 15-minute. All right, so if you see this, then these two bars were kind of mitigated by this one. Okay, so essentially all these last of the bulls, okay, these two bulls at these two bars and here, all these bulls were hammered, and the price went back to the original zone, almost at the original level. Okay, so imagine, if you had bought here or here at any of these this time, where would you keep your stop loss? Okay, most likely either you'll keep your stop loss here, or you'll keep your stop loss all the way somewhere here, or maybe here. Okay, so even this, I mean, let's just say there are three stop loss areas possible versus this one, which is kind of risky because it can be easily mitigated, which is exactly what happened. So the last bulls, if their stop losses were here, they were all hammered. Okay, then all of these people who had bought, their stop losses would be either here or here. Okay, previous day high or this day's low, let's say. So now then was the time for taking all of their stop losses. Okay, so all these stop losses have been taken. The price is perfectly resting at the 200. Now look at this 200. Okay, one test, two test, third one kind of breakout, but then a trap. Okay, so this is a big bear trap on this 200 zone. All right, which we are just seeing right now. So now it's entirely possible that once the price leaves this zone, then we can again see the price falling back down. We'll have to wait for the 50 to catch up, but basically the price action is possibly can go bearish very fast on this pair. Okay, so this is the dollar. Let's take a look at the yen. So now the yen is, after doing this, making a big fall on, day before yesterday, the price started to bounce back up. There was again a gap. Okay, and then the price again started to bounce back up, and then by after hours, after 3:30, after 5 p.m., basically the price is, again resting on this 50 and started to bounce. If you look at the futures, so on the futures, there's nothing. Okay, on the hourly chart, it's again very, very sideways, choppy price action. Okay, so there's not much to say from hourly chart perspective. All right, there's nothing here. You cannot trade off of this unless now if the price breaks below or above, then we can say there is some sort of a possibility. But so far, until then, there's nothing. Similarly, on the 15-minute, we are essentially drawing the same, consolidation zone. Okay, and 15-minute again, you look at this 200. Okay, this 200 was never breached, and now it is. Okay, and now the 50 is below 200. Okay, the red line is below the green line. So now, in the JPY, the price sort of, started going down. Okay, now let's see. So if the overnight bullishness continues till the morning, then we can see a gap up, okay, which would sort of trap all of these bears, and this then would be an important high. Okay, 759.74577. So let me just draw a line here, this one. Okay, because if you think about it, all of these pairs, all these people would have gone short. This is their ultimate stop loss zone. Okay, their risk management level. So if the price starts to go back up and grow, or if it does simple, gap up and starts, does this, closes above this, okay, then it would be sort of an indication to, again, buy and figure out buying opportunities. This is JPY. Let's take a look at Euro. So on the 4-hour chart, it's very, very choppy. Okay, it just fell down, trapped all these bulls, trapped all these bears, and then the price started to go up. Okay, now again we are somewhere, at this top zone. So now for any bullishness, we are essentially looking at some kind of price action like this. Okay, with this, this high would be 82.11. So this can be an interesting, sort of the target zone for the bullish price action. Okay, and interestingly, on the hourly chart, okay, again, we are at this 200. So 200, all these bulls got trapped. Again, 200 touch, 200 touch, yet another 200 touch. So of course, this whole 200 will be an important zone, this green line, 81.56. Okay, and I think a similar kind of ray can be drawn here. This high is 81.6. Okay, so all these shorts would have their stops above this high. So now if we do see a break of this 81.6, then I would definitely be, looking for some kind of retracement pullback, or, some kind of halt to figure out buying opportunities for the next level. It could be 81.98, almost 82. This is the next high, 82.26, and then this is the next high, 82.63. So these are three important, risk sort of the target zones. If once we see a sort of a breakout here, okay. So this is the second another opportunity possible in the euro. And looking at the strength of euro, we'll see. Look at euro USD also. Looking at the strength of euro, it looks like this is very much possible. Okay. In fact, this is exactly where we are right now. We are at 81.25, and this target is 82.11. So almost 1 rupee. And the same thing is here. Okay, this is what, 81.6, and this high is 82.6, right? So this is the same 1 rupee move. Okay, so this 1 rupee move can be an interesting move to capture in the next few days, right? Assuming, of course, that the price successfully breaches this level and starts to go up. Okay, so this would be an interesting move to capture. The next, let's take a look at the pound rupee, pound INR. The pound INR on the 4 hours, again, very, very choppy. Okay, there's nothing much to do here except for changing the trend line from one place to another. Okay, so it's all choppy price again. You don't see anything, no trend, nothing from this particular chart. If you look at the pound on the hourly time frame, okay, so look at this. All of these bears, okay, the people who sold in this zone, this happened on 2nd August. 3rd August, those bears were partly countered, okay. Last of these bears were trapped, and their stop losses would have been hit by yesterday, 3rd of August. The rest of these bears, all of their stop losses got hit by today, okay, 4th of August. So today, if you look at all these bears, this is their high, 97.1425, okay. If I just draw a line here, okay, this particular high would have been their stop loss zone, which is exactly what was taken. Okay, so all these bears got trapped in the next 2 days, and we formed this W kind of price action. Okay, the moment we did this, look at the next bar. Okay, at 3 p.m. sorry 1 p.m. and then 2 p.m. Okay, so essentially it was basically an indication that these bears are trapped, that these bears got trapped, and now these bulls are also trapped. Okay, so it's a double trap. These bears first got trapped, and all of their stops were hit. Now these bulls are trapped, and most likely all of their stops are also going to be hit at this low, 96.065. So it's very much possible that now all of these bulls are also trapped, okay, and this is their stop zone. So this 96.065 is going to be breached tomorrow, and we are going to see this. So 96.38 is where we are, 96.06, almost 25 points more, okay. And let's see, I mean, this is where we closed hourly, 3:30, 4:30. Yeah, this is where we have closed, somewhere here, okay. And we do see some kind of pullback here, but let's see, I mean, overnight. Yeah, so this is, I'm expecting that these bulls will also be trapped, because usually it happens both ways. I mean, it's not just like they trap the bears and now they have, because they have partially already trapped the bulls. So it's possible that the price may actually go below this and then decide for the next course of action. Okay, now let's take a look at the foreign currency pairs. So first of all, the dollar index. So dollar index did what we were expecting. It just did it a little, one, let's just say one step too late. Okay. So basically I was expecting that after this wedge, all these bears got trapped. Now, if there are, couple of consecutive red candles or red bars, the price can fall back down to these, wedge lows. Okay. Which did not happen. There was a big squeeze that happened. So all these bears got trapped yesterday on 3rd of August. And then this whole thing, got hammered as well. So by 4:30 we were here. By 4:30 today we were here, okay, but it was still not the best zone to sell. Quite frankly, I was not very convinced whether this price will actually fall from here or not, because again, we were still at the 200. Okay, so it was still not very sure whether the price is actually going to fall. But by 8:30 p.m., the next 4 hours, look at this price action. Okay, 4:30 to 8:30. If I break this down, this is essentially what this price action was. Okay, so 4:30. Yeah, so the next 4 hours, it's simply hammered. Okay, all these, now it's a simple. So now it became kind of clear that after 8:30, it became kind of clear that now we are falling. So this thesis is kind of what's happening. There was this rise, double rise, and then so the same it did fall, just that it did not fall at the time when I was expecting it will, but it fell one day after one day too late, right? So like, let me just also take a look at the dollar index on the daily time frame. Yeah, so on the daily time frame we are here, okay, on the 50. So this sort of pullback, minor correction wave has happened, and now we are at the 50. Okay, so I think this low 105.04, this low would be an important low for the dollar index, and this low is, I think, this one. Yeah, exactly. So this is going to be an important zone. Okay, according to me, the way the price looks, it looks like it's going to touch these lows. So all these bulls will be trapped. Okay. And after these bulls have been trapped, then the next set of price and the next leg will be decided. Okay. So in this particular sort of battle between bulls and bears, so this particular battle, all these bears got trapped and bulls won. Now, most likely, it seems that these bulls will get trapped and bears will take the price all the way back, all the way to this point. Okay, 105.04. After which the next set of price action may be decided. Next, so Euro USD again is usually the opposite of the dollar index because 57% of dollar index is Euro USD. So Euro USD going up is directly means dollar index going down, DXY going down. So Euro USD, okay, yeah. So I was again the same thing. I was kind of expecting the price will bounce after this, these two, but now the price is bouncing from here. Now it is basically these highs are the next target for Euro USD. Of course, we cannot do anything about it because the market for us is closed. Okay, but I think with this we can definitely take this out as a possibility. This is kind of closed. Now again, all these bears are basically trapped, and it's possible that we are going to break these. Let's take a look at the pound USD. So pound USD, we are talking about this head and shoulders, this sort of a breakout, and now we are kind of in a cup and handle zone. Okay, so this is your cup and handle, and this particular line is going to be an important one. So this is low. These lows are important. If the price breaks these lows, then we can look for this kind of a move. Okay, but so far we have not done that. Pound USD is kind of recovered. So after 2:30 after 6:30 p.m. the price is showing some kind of recovery. So it's still not very clear. There's nothing much here. Euro pound is an interesting one because this is what we were discussing yesterday. Okay, so after this kind of so first of all there was this wedge that was forming. Then after this, this kind of bar, right, where there was a bullish push basically. The possibility was that this wedge will be completed. Okay, and once the wedge is completed, after that probably the next leg of price action may be decided. And this was when I was kind of looking for that if this wedge will be completed or not, and this is exactly what happened today. By the end of the day, in fact, this happened around 4:30 p.m. also, between 4:30 and 5, that this wedge was finally completed. So now this is a wedge that has that has been formed. It's a falling wedge, bullish sign. Okay, now the first target is already done, which is this high. This is usually the first target. Okay, but what's important is look for now it's important to look for what happens next. Okay, if we see some kind of a pullback, then we can possibly go towards the next levels on the euro pound. Okay, so let me take this off now. Now we are here, right? So now we have to look for some kind of pullbacks, probably break of this, maybe another pullback, and then this. Okay, so let's just pull back, break from this, maybe another pullback, and then perhaps here. Okay, the next move. So let's see. I mean, this is purely one of the many possible paths that it can take, but it is definitely the path that I would be interested in, and would want to go long on this pair if we see this kind of price action happening. Let's take a look at the USD yen. Now USD yen, very interestingly, it fell really sharply. Okay, then there was this buying in the US dollar that happened on the second. On the third, yesterday, the price action was kind of sideways. We touched 50, another touch 50, and fell. Okay, so after this fall, which happened from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m., after that now we are seeing price falling. So now this is a very typical sort of buy the dip, sell the bounce kind of move. And if we do see this, then definitely this low is kind of the target of this. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see this if the USD yen is going to fall again. Okay, now USD yen falling would mean selling of dollar, which is essentially what is happening in case of Euro USD also, where the dollar is being sold short. And this is kind of in sync with this thesis of DXY going toward these lows. Okay, so for DXY to go to these lows, there has to be selling of the US dollar, and there are the three main pairs are Euro USD, Pound USD, and the USD yen. So USD yen selling again, this would be an interesting level to keep an eye on. Okay, 130.4. So there we may find a selling opportunity here in this tomorrow. But in our time, if that happens, then I would definitely be interested in going short here. Euro yen, kind of the same thing happened, but there is an overall strength in the euro, and let's see. I mean, this is the price action is similar as to what is happening in USD yen. Let's see if the yen goes strong against the euro, then the price may do the same thing in this case as well. Pound yen, very, very choppy. Okay, there is nothing much. In fact, this is interestingly what happened. One of the things that happened. Okay, there was this after the breakout from this trend line, there was a retracement, and then the price fell sharply. Okay, this fall and then the rise. So all these bears got trapped again. Okay, you see how the number of times these patterns repeat. These bears got trapped, and then this high was taken. Okay, so exactly they just touched on the stop losses for these bears. The last of the bears who would have their stop losses here also got hit, and now the price has fallen. Okay, so could it be yet another bull trap? Is it possible that these bulls are also trapped? Let's see. Again, looking at the size of these candles and everything, I don't think it would make any sense to buy or to trade this pair as of now. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin. So on the Bitcoin, essentially we are seeing yet another trap. So this happened last night. Okay, so on yesterday's discussion, we were somewhere around here. We had broken out and the price was hovering in this range. By the end of the day, by last night, basically yesterday night, all of these bulls got trapped. Okay, so it's a very clear case of a bull trap. Okay, now usually these kind of traps again take the price to the next low, which is this one, and this is exactly what happened. Okay, so the price did go to these lows and touch these lows. So essentially, these bulls, their stops have been taken. Okay, here, and now we are at the decision zone. Okay, if the bearishness continues, then this kind of a move is possible. All right. By the way, I usually draw a retracement, okay, where it's not very clear whether retracement does actually always happens, or if you will be able to figure out or sell at that particular retracement. Okay, but I just draw it because that's usually the nature of the market. Let's take a look at the crude. So crude oil has fallen badly now. So after this possible trap for the bears, which never materialized, this is where we were yesterday. Okay, after this fall, the price was sort of going sideways, and now yet another fall today as well. Okay, so opening the crude oil daily chart, this is what we were discussing. Okay, the price was at 200 moving average, 200 day, and now it has broken. So after the end of the day yesterday, the price had broken this 200, and now it has begun to fall. Okay, so this first low of 88.44 has been taken today. Let's see how far it goes. Nothing to do here. Nothing to do except for wait and watch. Gold, interestingly, did a very sharp bounce today. So let's just take a look at the daily. So daily, after this fall, we are at the 50. Okay, the first zone of resistance. And if now again let's see what happens here. Okay, it's going to be an interesting one. And the price is also coming toward this sort of an extended trend line. Okay, and if you look at this move, there is no RSI support, right? It's a completely top without any momentum support from RSI in terms of momentum, and it's also a top that is happening at the 50. So I'm expecting some kind of selling to happen here. Okay, what extent, how far will the selling go, we don't know, but I think some kind of selling we'll see some kind of selling as we approach these zones. Okay, as we are approaching this zone. Now, if you look at S&P, it's very interesting. Okay, I think I'll have to take this off now because so far it was looking like a flag, but after this price action, now it's not looking like a flag anymore. Now it's looking more like a wedge or maybe a broadening top, broadening formation. Yep, that's what it looks like. We saw a broadening formation here. It's another broadening formation. Okay, I think this low is 4078. This low is again 4078, kind of the same, but look at these highs. Okay, the bulls are just not able to break this. If it was a flag breakout, it should have broken out by now, but look at these highs. Okay, it doesn't look bullish at all to me. The 50 is here at 4063. I think it's very much possible that S&P will go back towards this, this particular, broadening low, and which also happens to be the 50 at 4063. Okay, very much possible. We open the hourly chart and see. Look at this. Okay, it's a very, very clear case of broadening formation, and kind of very similar to what has happened. Sorry. Yet another broadening formation. Okay, in the previous case, usually broadening formations are bearish signals. So, but in the previous case, the price went low and it was a complete trap of all these bears. Okay, and then we discussed this. When the price crossed this, it was, all these bears had got trapped and we got the next leg up. But second broadening formation after the previous one, now I'm not very confident of the extent of strength that bulls will be able to portray in this case. Okay, so let's see. Let's not make long-term predictions, but definitely I think the price action looks like it's going towards 40763. These kind of lows. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be a very interesting thing to watch out for in S&P. Lastly, let's take a look at Nifty. So again, so far it was looking like a pennant. Okay, now let me remove this also because it's not a pennant anymore. If it was a pennant breakout, it should have continued, but it did not. Okay, so one possibility now again is possibly something like this. Let's go and look at this on the hourly chart. Similar kind of broadening formation happening in Nifty as well. You see this? This is another broadening formation happening in Nifty. Okay, now this broadening formation, especially at a crucial support resistance zone, I don't like it. Okay, not one bit, right? So let me copy this text. Where is the text? It's here. Yeah. Again, the 50 is at 17068. So let's see. I mean, I'm not now. I'm taking all the bullish bets off of Nifty. So up until such a time as we break away from this zone. Okay, but until then, I don't think we are going to breach this zone anytime soon. All right, especially if you look at the RSI. Look at the way the RSI is completely falling as we are forming this. Okay, it's going to take a lot more bullish strength to break this with a lot of pressure, and that will give you another 300 points move very easily. But if that does not happen, this high is going to be a very important one, 17,538. Okay, and can we spot something on the Nifty chart on the 75-minute time frame? I don't think so. It's not very clear. I mean, there's no clear pattern that you can see on this one. Okay, so it's not very clear here, but it's quite clear on this one. Okay, so again, I think bullish bets are off in the Nifty index for now. Yeah. So this is it that I wanted to discuss for today. Okay, and I'll see you tomorrow with tomorrow's analysis. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good night and happy trading.